This is swanky. This is lifestyle. This is culture. Welcome to the social center of everything culture. Culture Daily.
It's 9:04 on Culture Daily's big conversation time. We're going till 10 a.m. this morning, and Lancaster University has got great news again for us. Now, if you're looking for that British degree at a fraction of the cost and that vibrant student experience in a community that equips you with useful employability skills, taking you a step closer to the career of your dreams. So enjoy all these and more, plus up to 50% for your degree program at Lancaster University, Ghana, where you get to be taught by the finest faculty of trained to UK standards in their ultra-modern campus. Call 0248-656274 or 0302-218989. Again, it's 0246-56 0248 656274 or 0302 18989. Email them easier at admissions at lancaster.edu.gh, or come browse on the website. It's lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster is the only British university campus in West Africa. And whilst I'm on that as well, Telecel is offering you the best value data and voice offer you can even think of. Why? Because they understand everyone has got their preferences and their needs, and that's how they have the unbeatable Made For Me bundle, specially made for you. Just simply dial *530# or download the Made For Me bundles, which are very affordable, customized data and voice packages personalized for you. Or download it from download the Telecel Play app from your app store, and subscribe to the Made For Me bundles. Telecel, connecting energies. Who else is connecting some energy here this morning?
Well, if I'm connecting something, it's gamepad.
Yeah. I can't remember last time I did that though.
Game on season 3 of our e-soccer tournament. We keep saying registrations are loading up. Make sure you get on our socials. Visit 3music.tv, the events tab, and you can register as well. Come on. Let's get the game base and the gamers in one room. Let's do what we did first 2 seasons. Sean Teasy, Skradada, they came through and they repped, reigning champions of each season. Season 3, who is it going to be? Don't give them chance to come and reclaim season 3 too. Show yourself. New champions, of course. Knockout stages on the 17th. I'll be here live dealing with all the Sankwas people who play at our level. Amen. And then while we pick out the top 4 champions who proceed into the final. So make sure you register so you can be a part of the game on season 3 of e-soccer tournament. Now, when that is said and done, reminder, Pepsodent keeps telling us every time we eat food, sugars, etc., get trapped between our teeth, leading to tooth decay, gum disease, and even foul breath. So you have Pepsodent charcoal and Pepsodent herbal to solve these problems. With zinc and fluoride, Pepsodent charcoal is available to solve any problems with the tiny holes in your teeth and give you that fresh dentition and that beautiful white sparkling smile. And then for anything with your gums, well, Pepsodent herbal has herbal extracts and mint to repair any damages to those gums and give you that minty freshness. Pepsodent is also extended a courtesy for you to call on 0800 161 0000, 800 161 000, and you can talk to a dentist toll free because they've been working with the Ghana Dental Association for 25 years, bringing us the best when it comes to oral hygiene. Pepsodent, of course, reminding us that every smile matters.
Yes, every smile matters, and that is how you're going to be smiling to Bang & Olufsen's showroom located at Atlantic Towers Airport City in Accra. Okay, what are you going to get from there? Your Bang & Olufsen atelier, where you experience sound like never before and become a part of the craft. You also get to design your own bespoke audio masterpiece or select from exclusive creations tailored to your style. Whether it's a speaker that seamlessly fits your space or a statement piece that turns heads, you can find it at Bang & Olufsen's shop. Okay, and then also remember that if you can imagine it, then you can hear it. What I'm talking about is Bang & Olufsen's atelier, and so you can call 0201 694341 0201 694341 and get one for yourself and your tribe today.
I need one. I'm not gonna lie. I really do.
You can buy one for all of us.
Protect yourself from germs and bacteria with confidence. Cleanse hand soap effectively kills 99.9% of germs with every single use. Protect, it's perfect actually for all hand washing moments throughout the day. Available in a variety of invigorating variants and delightful flavors. There's aloe vera, strawberry, vanilla, and honey. antibacterial, and chocolate. You know, a lot of flavors there. Choose the favorite for yourself, your family, and your friends. Make Cleanse your daily essential. Stay clean with Cleanse, the GC brand. It's all about you guys.
Well, this show is definitely all about you, like I keep saying. Now, this morning, since we've entered a month of autism, we are starting our conversations here. We're having many of such across the entire month of April. This morning, Dr. Chris takes us into the awareness of everything behind understanding autism. I want to read this, and that's the only thing I think I found about autism, that sometime in 1908, a Swiss psychiatrist called Eugene something, I don't want to mention his name, the other one I can't pronounce it, coined the term autism to describe a symptom of schizophrenia, referring to a state of withdrawal and self-absorption. Now that I've told you mine, Doc, what is autism?
Oh, so good morning to our listeners.
Good morning.
Tuesday
welcome,
again.
welcome.
So, 2nd April is World Autism Day. We take the whole month to celebrate autistic people and how amazing they are. Apart from that, amazing people, because
yes.
Yesterday was also WHO Day, World Health Organization
Day?
WHO, yeah.
I should have seen that coming.
Who day passed me?
Nobody passed it.
So this month we are doing a lot of health, and when we talk about autism, names such as Mozart comes to mind. People like Einstein come to mind because they were amazing people who influenced science and music in our society, and they were also part of that community. Today we're talking about autism as a topic, but also as something of concern that we need to create awareness for.
True.
So with regards to that, the first thing we also say is a lifelong thing. It's not a disease. Let people know that it's not a disease, it's not an infirmity, it's not something that requires medication or treatment. It's management, right? And awareness for us to know when somebody has it. Also, it's a lifelong neurodevelopmental difference, right?
So yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That impacts all aspects of a person's life. So we are talking about the way they interact with you and I, the way they learn, the way they are able to take social cues, the way they are able to structure planning and doing other things, things that we find it easy to do, right? They have a bit of challenge doing that. And also, it's characterized by repetitive behavior. You know, they like things in a certain order, whereas you can just, this place can be in shambles and nobody cares.
Wait, Doc, pull up. Wait.
Why?
Like if you just said something interesting there.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
Like, you like.
Yeah, some people like order, like, you know,
way.
when I say order, in the sense that you see, you go and the person's arranging a pen in a certain color code, and as soon as one is disrupted, the person puts it back.
Yeah.
Do you know I saw something
But-
where I'm so sorry, but if you like to have the volume on your TV on even numbers, it's actually a thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I like to leave the volume on my TV always on an even number.
Me too.
I don't like to leave it on an
Odd
odd
number.
number.
I don't like odd
Like, what's
numbers.
going on, dog? You need to tell us some more.
Yeah, but
Like,
You know, it's part of the reason I bought my car.
you bought your car.
My car.
hey, see, you have a car. I don't have a. Oh, okay.
I don't understand.
Thanks
You bought
for
your
The car I own.
Yeah.
The reason why it's the only car out of all the cars I own that I drive every time is because the part of it is that the volume knob doesn't have an indicator. So when you turn it, it doesn't give you numbers.
Oh,
and
so
all
you can
that.
just tune
So
all
you
the
can
way.
just-
So see, what about the
I
other
don't
cars?
have
You don't like the other cars.
No,
That's what I want to
because
say.
It tells you whether you are 10 or 12.
Yeah, when you're 12,
He doesn't like the other cars.
We just like to go on us to read this.
you don't have cars.
Look at this.
There's a problem in the house, dog.
This.
There's a problem in the
I
house.
thought I was alone. I just
Dog,
told you.
I'm coming. I want to
No,
check.
people do that.
We need to really explain this for
No, wait, guys, wait.
What?
Uh,
Why are you asking if we are mad?
of interest in this is not autism, or this is not
Lack of interest in what?
in numbers.
What's going on here today?
It says here that it's called dyscalculia.
What are you saying?
On pen numbers. It's called
Dyscalculia.
dyscal or dyscalculia.
Dyscalculia.
Yeah, he's suffering from dyscalculia.
This guy is on drugs.
He's suffering
Dog,
from.
what do we give him?
This morning we are
What drug
discussing.
can we give and drug addicts? What drug can we give him?
He says yours is what? Yours is even numbers.
No, that
lack
one is
of
volume.
Interest in odd
no,
numbers.
not
Hold
lack
on.
of- No, my favorite number is
I'm sure
7.
there's a name.
My favorite number is 7.
Me too.
High five.
Ah,
Cristiano Ronaldo.
hold on.
So it can't be
Ew.
Hate of
Yours
Yours
What's
is
ill?
yours is yours it doesn't exist. He doesn't have his. So Doc, let's focus on those who have
Okay, so
autism got
or
dyscalculia.
is it levels?
so yeah,
Dyscalculia
so the thing is,
What you're suffering is not
Autism-
CD.
autism is
Okay.
we call it a spectrum, right? Because we call it a spectrum because everybody will have differences in what the spectrum is.
Some are
To you,
United
some yes.
I get problem.
I should have won this. Then yeah, so somehow degrees, varying degrees to it. So you could have and it doesn't only affect children, it affects adults too. There are those who are undiagnosed and have lived life and they are still showing signs and symptoms of it. So they will try and go into and see what, so you can just look at my signs and symptoms chart and then you can diagnose yourself.
So Doc,
It's not a bad thing.
Yes.
Autism is not a bad thing, but we feel that when a child, we like to diagnose a child early, in the sense that at 18 months, we think that's early stages.
Okay.
It's easier to manage some of the conditions. For example, if you have a child who has eating disorder, doesn't like to eat a certain color of food. If the
Okay.
color is a certain color, he doesn't want its texture. Some children have a texture, so they eat fruits because fruits have this juicy, fruity, soft nature. So they rather eat a fruit like apple because it's hard,
Crunchy.
okay.
crunchy. They like crunch. So if somebody tell you that my child eats plantain chips a lot, likes a lot of plantain chips, right? Someone could tell you that my child can be mumbling numbers, like adding 65 plus this and just be telling the numbers.
Oh
Right.
wow.
Yes. A child. Somebody also tell you that my child, if they are using building blocks like Lego, these building blocks, they like to do it in a certain order, and when you disrupt it, there's a whole they get agitated and all that.
The way
the
they
tantrum,
react.
yeah.
Okay.
So there are variations to it, and some also don't know how to give social cues. Like you smile at a child doesn't know what you're doing.
They're very direct.
Yeah, you're like
They
bye
don't
bye.
like
You're like bye bye. Like you get it, and then
Isn't that age dependent?
that's why I'm saying that early. That's what I'm talking about the children now. Between that, that's when we see these things that we feel that you should notice as a mother, and also one of the things that WHO was saying about this thing that no, a child shouldn't be exposed to screens at an early age.
Hallelujah to that.
Yes, and they give an age parameter, which I don't want to say the wrong way, but I think it's about 3 years and above or 5 years and above or something.
This
Shouldn't
I feel
generation.
like we'll be 10 years safe.
In this
They say that
generation.
at that period, they are building their social cues. They are building the way they connect with their parents and children and playing. So when you give the child
So
screen
what about
time,
those of us who found cassettes hidden some places?
What cassette did you
Which
find? What cassette?
Bonnie
Emu
M,
diyan ya.
Bonnie M,
Michael Jackson.
this Bonnie M and this reggae
That
guy.
one say
Let
you're
me give
listening.
you
You're
the
not watching.
Yeah, what's
ABB.
That's not what he's talking about.
ABB.
You don't know what he's talking about.
What's that? ABBA? Is that ABBA group?
ABBA group, yeah. We found those cassettes quite
Mamma
early.
mia.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that
we
one
go
you were
again.
listening.
Is that?
You are listening to those cassettes.
But we saw the cassette.
But he's talking about
Visual
screen time.
visual.
Rambo, Commando,
Yeah, you just have the cassette you find.
Rambo Part 1, 2, 3, Die Hard, Steven Seagal, yes.
Films, yeah.
Yeah, we saw those
Die
classics.
Hard.
What, Texas
Yeah.
Walker, Texas Ranger?
Yeah, Walker Tech. That one cry was later. We are talking Rambo. Rambo cassette was very, very rare. So I don't know what they are.
What was the color of the cassette?
And then Tom and Jerry as well.
Yeah, what was the color of the cassette?
Oh, black. Usually black with white taping on the middle. Yeah.
It wasn't any other color.
No. So maybe you have to hit this thing like this, like
Okay.
and blow the.
Lenny, I'm trying to get him, but
We didn't have
Don't get
rewind
him.
that.
Yeah, the rewinder too. Yeah. So I
That
don't know
was
if that's
use your
what you
pen
meant.
to.
No, that was just a small cassette.
that's
That we
it.
just do that.
Lenny.
So Doc, with all
It's not
these things,
VHS. It's not VHS.
Oh, okay.
with all
I don't
these
know what
things that
I'm
we've
talking
said, can it be developed, or is born with all the time?
So what we're talking about is that you when you are at a certain age, neurologically, you there are certain things that you need that build character, right? So in a case that you give a child screen, now that screen is becoming a teaching tool to the child. The screen doesn't communicate to the child. You realize how it is? The screen can't tell the child anything. For a child says something to the screen can't say anything back.
Okay.
The child can't get emotion from it. It can't get certain things that build you. Maybe it gets intellectual, builds the speaking, and but I want my child to speak early. But one way or that, you'll be deficit in some other things.
Okay.
Whereas the same child who is somewhere, let's say in the community where they can't afford a screen for the child, is playing with other children, is running about, is building social interaction with children, where it is mine, and we let's share. The mother can you have to share. Breaks the child is learning how to share there.
Yeah.
That same child, as compared to someone who's doing screen time, is not learning how to share. That child doesn't understand what sharing is. You also have a child, as teachers, you have a child who is jumping around the whole classroom. You are teaching the child. By the exams come, that child is able to replicate everything you said. He's biting, pulling on people, but that child is the one who's stopping the class. And the teacher says, and you are the mother, you say to the teacher, my child is always agitated, he's always jumping around, he's very overactive and all that, he's not paying attention. And the teacher says, oh, it's fine, they'll grow out of it, but he's doing really well in school. So we've normalized it, and the teacher is normalizing being intellectually good and taking away the social aspect or the emotional aspect of the child away. So you, the mother, is showing concern for that part, which is concerns you, but the teacher is also showing concern for something else. So to diagnose somebody with autism and see that the person needs help, it takes a community, the teacher, the mother, the parent, the people around to notice certain things. And that means that you need to understand what we call developmental milestones in a child. Because there's the pencil grabs. A child should be able to hold something like this. That's why you can put your finger in a child's hand. It's supposed to hold it. That's one. A child should be able to crawl. When he's on his belly, he should be able to lift his head like that. You see, I have my chart right here. If you're watching us.
So with this chart, Doc, are mothers given this chart so that they know? Or
there's an abridged version of it in their book, antenatal book.
Okay.
There's an abridged version, but most don't read it. Most don't read these things.
All right, so first month, it says lifts head when lying on tummy, responds to sounds. It goes on, follows items with its eyes that I know of. 3 says smiles and laughs, tracks movement, objects with the eyes. 4, cools in conversations, can recognize people and objects. 5th month, plays with own hands and feet.
Distinguishes both
colors.
Whatever the
At a very early age. So I don't know if were you able to play with your own hands and feet at 5th month?
Also, I don't even know what I did yesterday.
The 6th month is imitates sounds, turns to sounds and voices. Grows on 7th, 8th, combines, says first tooth appears, experiences strange anxiety, says mama.
Look at 9th. Look at the 9th month. Look at the 9th
mama
month.
and dada at the 8th month.
Perception of perception of what is and what is not.
Yeah, Doc, I started saying jungle is massive at 1st month.
Incredible.
Incredible. At 9th month says knows objects exist even if invincible to him.
Object permanence.
Object permanence.
So can see ghosts.
No, so they can tell how far this table is from them. So when they get up to reach to hold on something, they know whether this thing is there or is not, and not just like grasping thin air.
Okay.
To get up.
That has nothing to do with falling down the stairs.
No, you see when
that
they
one
play,
is-
you see the tricks they play on kids that you see on TikTok, and they're like, look at the kid, and then the kid goes, ah. Because that child has not got to the point where they have the understanding to know that the key still exists, even though it is out of
Sight.
That's what that point is.
Okay, can we have it back on the screen? Oh, that's interesting. That's very
So
interesting.
these are all milestones you are watching out for. You
10
see?
says crawls well with belly off the ground, waves goodbye. Okay, bye. So 11th month, this is under 1 year. So let's say 11th month, can stand for a few seconds, understands simple direction. I thought it was a simple direction. And the 12th month says indicates wants with gestures, imitates others' activity. Then after a year, strings together simple phrases, imitates reading board books. And by 2 years, it says can walk downstairs. Half of speech is understandable.
So you see, at 18 months, we are telling you that the child should be able to say simple things. So you have a child who has a speech impediments, right? The child is not speaking. That's something that of concern that you need to see a pediatric neurologist. Wow. Because it's giving a milestone. So if you start watching the milestone and see that no, this child is not, you need to quickly address it.
Responsive to
the child is not walking. It's not crawling. I know some children who didn't even crawl at all. Wow. They did their butt walk.
What's that?
They sort of like on their butt and they drag their feet. They don't want to walk on their belly. They don't want to crawl their belly. Then from there they walked.
They just walk.
So you look at all these things that if I show a color to a child like white and I show red, you should be able to distinguish. Like you don't say anything, but you can say the child understands what you're trying to do. Or if you say no, a child should be able to know that you say you can't do that. There's one trick that we used to use all the time. You know this thing that kids shake, that thing that has a ball in it and they shake it a lot.
Yeah.
So you shake it and then give it to a child. It's also imitates what you just did. So a child will pick it. That's the first thing. Grasp it. That's one. Okay, it's good. Looks at it, identifies. Oh, this. Then does that.
And shakes it.
You know, they start laughing, they start shaking it and banging the floor. That's a good sign. But imagine you give it to a child, holds it,
He vexed.
looks at you, wonders what it is. Then you do it again. It's not doing what you are doing. That's a deficit. So we've preferred to correct these things earlier on.
So they can be corrected.
It can be corrected.
Okay.
And that's where there's a three-pronged approach. There's a team that is determined, like, that come together to solve some of this. It depends on what is wrong, right? So if you have a speech impairment, you bring a speech therapist in, right? If it's something that has to do with behavioral, you bring somebody in. If it has to do with, some children can't even understand texture and feel of things. So sand, they use sand sometimes as therapy to try and teach the child how sand feels. Cotton, you know, to the hard stuff, the soft stuff, to give them that, because most people give up on these children.
Yeah,
Doc,
people
you
do.
mentioned that it can be solved, at that age, but
Can be managed.
Can be managed,
it
not
can be-
solved,
okay,
managed.
It can be managed.
So they live normal lives.
Okay.
Relative.
In
Which is that
managing
word,
this as well.
What's normal even now?
Yeah. In managing this as well, some people with the autism, we are told that they are non-verbal,
Right.
right? In those cases as well, how do you help? And then also in some cases, the child is non-verbal, becomes verbal later, or starts as verbal and then becomes non-verbal later. In managing all of this, is it possible?
It's very possible because that's the job of the speech therapist.
Okay.
If it's earlier on, as you said, the first one was the child is not speaking at an age where you expect the child to. They come in and try to find what is causing. So they do it in conjunction with a neurologist, pediatric neurologist, to identify whether is it brain damage, is it something that can be fixed, or is something that has to just do with training, practice. So they start with simple words like a, then they grow them from them to double syllables to single syllables and go on. They might not get the way you and I will get the way we speak and everything. And this thing I'm talking about is not only in autistic, it can even happen to children that we think and say are normal. In the sense that something that happened in their childhood can cause them to shut up.
Like
trauma can do that.
Okay.
Right. And even sometimes the way yesterday, I saw a message on my platform, right, where I live, that a kid had walked out of the house, 4-year-old.
What?
Yeah. Opened the door, wore his school bag and left.
No, actually, so he planned it toward the school.
I'm trying to tell you this.
No,
Why?
that's scary.
Why? Because what? At that evening, let's say the mom says, you need to go to bed, you need to go to school early tomorrow, you need to wake up early. Routine. You've given that child imitational routine. That child picks it up. So even if it's a holiday, what happens?
But find
But find it bad. No, it's happens. Even outdoors, it happens to us. Someone will dress up before realizing that I don't have to go to. It's Saturday.
Yeah. Or sometimes you wake up thinking, trying to remember what time of
The day.
what day
Day,
of week.
yeah, it is.
It happened to me on Saturday. I woke up and I didn't prepared for work.
I'm mental.
Yeah. I woke up and I walked, my routine. Then I remember that it was Saturday. Then I just turned around and I came back.
Yeah, so you see, we try and tell that mental work, but it's everywhere. We sight people wore slippers to work. Charlotte wore the suit and everything, woke up and sat in the car and drove to work before realizing that I'm in slippers.
Look, so we're talking about these things from kids, right?
Yes.
As adults, can it be developed, or can it just
later in life?
Yeah, later in life, because especially in society, in workspaces, right? You have to deal with certain people. You have to develop routines in every different workspace. So how is that? Is it possible?
Yes, it is. I have the chat. I want to show, if you could show us the adult chat.
Whilst okay, anyway, so we'll just get that on the screen as well. Whilst you're working on that, just a reminder again about the British degree at a fraction of the cost, since we're talking, all about people education and all. If you're looking for that vibrant student experience in a community that will equip you with useful employability skills, taking you a step closer to the career of your dream, do that at Lancaster University, Ghana. For more information, it's lancaster.edu.gh, or admissions, if you want to email them, at lancaster.edu.gh, or call them on 0248 656274, or call them on 0302 218989. Lancaster is the only British university campus in West Africa. Betway has great news for you. We've all been there before. You've placed that perfect multi-bet that's going your way until it's not, because one or more pick lets you down. Now listen, Bet Saver feature sorts all this because you can win even if your bet misses. Now even on multiple losses, you can still get your bets back and more. Bet Saver is exclusive to Betway. Get way more. Terms and conditions apply. It's regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway, get way more. Is our chart ready?
So you wanted one, right? Let me give you 1 point, right? Somebody who has okay, there you go. This for adults.
Social, so what, communication difficulties?
Yeah, so these are the people who
okay,
everybody knows that this is white, right?
Yes.
This is white.
Yeah.
No,
It's not white.
It's not white.
Yeah.
Like,
And I believe in such, because if you can prove it. Example, that the first box top
You
left.
don't believe in that.
Yes, the first box top left is showing the guy trying to communicate directly, straight line to the woman. The woman is sending signals of disruption to the man. It started
See the question mark.
yes, there a long time ago. You understand?
No comment.
Again, a woman repeats herself in the next box. It is not an attack on women, it's the chat I'm showing, please. And I didn't design this
That's
chat.
interesting.
The second one too, you see there are men and women in silhouettes, and the one that is confused is a what?
she's not confused. It's social anxiety.
Okay.
It's just being
Social
anxiety. Social anxiety, being in a place that
I'm waiting
is
to get to the signal.
yeah.
The next box states, you see the guy is calm. Who is holding the head? The woman.
The woman.
Asamaba. That's relationship challenges cause mostly.
Because
I said it earlier on.
mostly
Impaired attention and focus. Impaired attention
and focus.
And you see what is in the mirror? In the laptop. If it's over there,
It's a cat.
A cat. It's a cat. It's a woman. Signs of mild autism in adults. We continue. So
There's
over
summer.
and under sensitivity to stimuli, and you see,
It's all men.
No, yeah, because it's stress. It's stress.
I like that.
Yeah, it continues. Need for predictability and structure. You see how the man's hand is showing. Like once things to work.
How do you know it's a man's hand?
Oh, it is. Limited patterns of interest. You see, he's watching a Chinese. I think it's a Chinese movie or
It's
something.
a man.
Yeah, watching limited patterns of interest, like following certain specific. Like he doesn't go out of the box to explore.
No,
many
they are
things.
narrow-minded in their interest. Like,
Okay.
if it's one thing, that's it.
It's
Dog.
that or nothing.
And you can't
Exactly.
change. Yeah, you can't interest them in anything else.
Exactly. The last one, physical coordination problems. Oh, Doc, if you go to Lenny's car now and you open the door, back seat, laundry items. I don't know whether she doesn't have a house or
It's not laundry. Oh.
If you,
It's extra
if you-
clothes just in case.
if just Doc, what is just in case in this world? Doc, we can't work.
Just in case
Yeah,
my
5, 6.
outfit gets torn.
Aside
That's
that,
planning. That's
Things-
plan organization.
Aside
Your
that-
house has moved.
Something stains
Doc,
my outfit.
That's plan organization.
Yeah.
Because you
Doc,
can change
okay.
locations
How
anytime.
many clothes?
Yeah.
I would go and
I
take a
wouldn't
video
want to.
and put it on the screen.
You
She
will
dares
not
me.
do that.
Doc,
not?
how many things would you have to carry in your car? Clothes. If you are she's saying all
Oh,
these
but
things,
most
she has like
most health
5.
workers carry a lot of clothes
Or
actually.
more.
Or more.
I'm adding up
Is she
helping.
displaying end stage signs of end stage signs of
Stop it.
autism?
The end.
And the last one, end stage, the last one.
No, you see, for me, I don't like to be caught unawares. I just
Doc,
like to plan my.
she's wearing
a lot.
leopard
That's
skin.
all.
Or is it snake skin?
She doesn't want to lose control. She always wants to be in control. So she's packed all
I
the
don't-
possible variables into her car.
Into
I
her
don't
car.
want to,
What
yeah.
if?
Yeah, what
I don't
So
want.
because of what if there's a wardrobe, there's a small kiosk,
extra shoes?
there's a gas
Extra
cooker.
shoes, yeah.
Extra
And he also has that, so I don't know why.
Wallahi,
So let's
check
move on.
the
The
car.
adult-
So let's go and check the cars right now.
Hey, those who have cars.
Finish the
Let me
show.
tell you, if you want to
It's a
sell that.
bicycle. It's in the
Whilst
middle
you're
of
on that
car.
as well, I just want to put this image up of famous people, alleged famous people who have autism. And it was very interesting to see the first person whose name came up. I want us to put the screen, the picture on the screen. Well, she's working on it just a few, but it was so surprising to find the first person whose picture came up. Maybe because the algorithm is the person's name is quite, mentioned lots of time. But it's interesting to find.
No,
out.
they do so many amazing.
And Bill
amazing
Gates is
stuff.
one.
Yeah.
Lionel Messi is also there.
Yeah.
Interesting. Sir Isaac Newton. Messi there, Charles Darwin, Charles Darwin.
Who's Charles Darwin?
What do you call him? Hold on, I
An
can just get
inventor.
more.
Is an
Inventor? No.
No.
Darwinism.
Physicist.
He's not a physicist though. Darwin is a biologist. He did the
Look at the
evolution.
Look at the person.
Evolution.
But damn, he wants
it's an inventor, isn't
he
it?
wants to go to
Right.
Mars. Elon Musk.
No, he who was he?
Elon
They were
Musk
there.
is in there.
He's a theorist. It's a theory he put
I was even
together, so-
expecting Albert Einstein to come first. Elon Musk is in there. Anthony Hopkins.
Elon
is in
Musk?
there. Yes, he's there. Elon Musk.
It's a spectrum. It
It's
doesn't
a spectrum.
mean they're
It's not
small.
like.
Yeah.
But when they are
Tim
good in
Burton.
one thing,
Yeah.
Whose name should be there? Jim
Why? Because I have extra shoe in my boot.
Police name should be there too.
Well, I think most of us will, if you take even like, let's say someone like Messi, right? In the beginning stage, Barcelona had to take on his treatment because he had stunted, he
really?
had growth hormone deficiency, so he was not going to grow tall. He was going to grow shorter than what you're seeing right now.
Who's that?
He was going to grow shorter.
Yeah, he was going to stay
to
short.
be
Like,
there or
yeah,
grow
big.
Academy,
shorter.
so
Who is that?
Lionel Messi.
Messi. Yeah.
He was not going to be as tall as you're seeing right now without the help of Barcelona. So that's why he has this endearment to Barcelona because they came in at the right time.
Oh.
she doesn't know how he started with Barcelona.
Ah,
so that's
okay.
why she's lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's been there since, like
Absolutely.
Since
so his treatment, everything was
blah,
taken
blah.
on by the club.
Oh.
He didn't
okay.
become Messi before joining Barcelona.
Barca.
Yeah.
He joined Barcelona. He
before
started in
he
Barcelona.
became Messi.
Yes.
Right.
I have a
okay.
similar story with
Yes,
Lionel
but let's
Messi.
be moving on.
I have a similar story with
So
Lionel
he
Messi.
has a similar storyline on Messi.
Yeah.
How?
I was taken on in group.
Mm.
Wait, what?
I was taken on in.
Why did you go and ask?
In media.
I was taken on. Like they discovered me and they took me on.
Oh,
And
God.
In media.
I don't understand the.
Were you lost? What did they discover you?
I don't state the industry.
What did they
Wandering
discover?
around across.
Hey, you were just talking. You were doing OAP on the street.
No. It's in a certain industry. It's in a certain industry.
Okay. Okay. But look, with all these things you're saying, how do you? No, but have you realized how amazing these people are?
Yeah.
Some of them
amazing.
they,
No, I'm
they
trying to
change the
understand
definition of
something,
science
'cause
and what we
I'm getting a bit
understand.
What? See, so part of autism is hyperfocus, right? It's like it's not a one.
That's like a spectrum, yeah.
But a common trait is hyperfocus, and the reason why a lot of people who have it are nerds or geeks or blah blah is because that hyperfocus applied to other things amplifies the output of it. So you see the businesses Elon Musk is running in the same 24 hours that you were on TikTok for 4 hours. It's hyper focused that enables you to stick and stay and manage all those things.
When you
It's
disrupt
all
a bit in that structure, it
Exactly.
affects him.
So you see the playwrights, the movie directors, and all that. How you would imagine? You are imagining a movie, you are writing it, and somebody's dog barks. Whoa! You forget the whole last 2 hours of your movie. You imagine somebody else writing that, and they are not going to eat till they finish chapter 5.
But that means a part
Because-
though. Then you also part because
telling
when you're
you
writing,
that
when you're writing your,
I'm trying to.
When I said Adam, you
yeah,
thought I was
because
joking.
so
No,
when
I was
he's-
I've seen
joking.
writing before. I've seen writing before, like when he's writing
I
like
was
rap
joking
or
when I
like
said
like
Anthony
rhymes and
and
stuff.
I can only imagine.
Man, like
said
there's
to
nothing
an
you say that
extent.
goes. So you just
But I'm trying to understand.
then
the
because your
difference
trip is
between-
packed.
See, we
Shots because your
plenty.
trip is watching. I'm trying.
So it's a very wide.
It's wide,
Yeah,
and
because
any of us can be part of it
I don't know
because
if
of one
production
thing
has
you
got the
do.
video. I shared a video that will blow your mind. I don't. Production has it. What's the title?
For production, please.
for
pull it
production.
Because somebody entered my place and the person didn't understand. I like order. I like order to a T. If this supposed to be there, if this utensil supposed to be there, the glass goes here. I like it. The person didn't understand. He said, "You have OCD." I was like, "What?" He said, "You have OCD because you always want the place to be clean." And I said, "What's wrong with that?" Because I
And I
sleep on
like
the,
routine.
I like routine. You wake
Yeah.
at this time, you do this, you do this, you do that, you do that, and you're out of there. And when I'm part of it.
Doc, I'm trying to understand like the difference between just behavioral.
You just want to be part of us, isn't it?
But
No,
what,
like-
what about ADHD?
Because-
ADHD call it.
That's a
Yeah,
attention deficit.
deficit.
That's what he
is
talked
that-
about.
Is there a difference between that?
Yeah,
and-
that's the one. The person can't focus.
okay.
It just can't focus. Like,
But
it,
with
it's like those kids.
ADHD, wouldn't you say a lot of children, I mean, in their
Fall in that-
formative years,
yes,
fall
fall in
with
that, yeah,
ADHD until they grow and this like.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That you can brace it to your caregiver and say, "My kid is not able to focus in class and blah." And they'll try to find out if it's not it. It's better for them to say it's not it. than for you to sit there and say and be hearing that he will grow out it, you grow out of like outgrow it. Then you sit there, and all of a sudden excess still come forward.
Yeah.
Children are children. It will be hard for children to focus. That is not exclusive to autism or to ADHD.
No, we're talking about ADHD.
Yeah, I was just saying, or to
okay.
ADHD or any other
Disorders.
disorder. A healthy child will still be distracted because that's what children are. The mind is hyperactive.
Yeah.
But if after intervention and trying to be socialized in a way where they should no longer be
That way.
and they continue, then there's cause for alarm.
Yeah.
You understand?
Like the withdrawal.
Yeah.
You had a child who was very active, playing with friends, everything. All of a sudden,
They start to.
they start to distance themselves. You need to find out why. Or a child who just doesn't want to play with anybody else. Always indoors,
Always
no,
alone.
like avoiding people. That's something.
To have like
No, but even look at going to church. People can go everywhere
They're
else
always
and don't
indoors.
sleep.
Sleep.
And they go to the church and the first thing they start to do
You
is
sleep.
yawn. Yeah. Because that's how uninterested you really are, but you are compelled to be there.
Yeah.
That's a different conversation.
Well, the video is ready though. So let's check out the video and let's blow our minds away.
Who creates incredibly intricate drawings of cityscapes, and he does this entirely from memory.
I love drawing tall buildings, tall skyscrapers, skylines, street scenes.
When Stephen was 3, he was diagnosed as autistic. He was completely mute and lived entirely in his own world. Stephen's teachers noticed he loved to draw. He had found his way to connect with others. Stephen has the ability to look at a subject once and then draw an accurate and detailed picture of it, including panoramas of entire cities based off just a quick look.
I go up on a helicopter and then memorize it, and then after being on a helicopter and then straight back at the hotel and then start to draw.
His incredible talent launched an artistic career that has taken him around the world.
I can tell you that this video I've also seen it, and this guy is incredible.
My level of impress.
Yeah.
But all men
Yeah.
have this skill, but in a different this thing.
And you see, it's not
go out
for
and
different spectrum.
Don't mind
Go out and see.
I tell you, man, what he's talking about.
You remember?
And you can draw
Also,
it.
also important is providing an enabling
Environment.
and allowing
This
an
is
outlet.
important.
So you see that he's not frustrated by his uniqueness.
And one note, have you realized the
Because-
distance from people from him?
Yeah.
Have you realized how far the
Far
people are from
off,
him?
yeah. If
And they're
this
not
guy-
talking. They're not talking because
If
they
this guy
need
was-
that.
distraction. If this guy was placed in a school
Ooh.
and was being asked 10 different things,
Then go stress him.
at 8 to 9 he's learning maths, 9 to 10 he's learning English.
He's uninterested in all of that.
Yes, it will build up.
But until you get to
frustration.
art, when you get to art, where there's drawing, where what is
You
quiet,
be the
then
hero.
So now this is hyper focus. So silence and leave him alone. You do.
what you
But
want him to do.
I think when he flies over a Abubushi and things, they're a good
Nto sa
tire.
pronkwa no
Oh,
be.
man,
You know what I am?
Yeah, that was why. That was
See, he's done
The
Singapore.
dirtiest place in Africa, I think, at the point in time was the market was Abubushi.
Yeah.
No, it was
Yeah.
the most
Yeah.
toxic. Wasn't
Toxic,
it?
eh?
It's the most toxic. Yeah, because the e-waste
The-
burning and
the-
all that. The
the-
e-waste burning, the fumes and all
They
that.
said one
Yeah.
day to explode. Though, they gave a year. They said if we don't excavate the they came to test. They said
The saw over there is not. It's not a joke.
The gases that have been
All the
released,
e-waste
one day
that
to just
the
put
computers and stuff that are sport, we come and dump it and burn it and we try to extract the
lithium,
lithium,
batteries, all those
cyanide,
things.
everything.
It's
It's
Yes,
the most toxic.
e-waste site, the most toxic e-waste site in the
You
world.
want this guy to draw it.
Oh.
You just put X there. When you draw and get up, you just
Yeah.
you do it.
Are you
Circle. You just look for a circle around the whole area.
X there?
Look, what I want to understand is the autism and like character, like behavior. Like this is just who I am, or I am actually autistic, or this is who I've developed into.
Right.
mostly United fans.
How do you?
Aren't
find
you a
out?
United
Because
fan?
Oh,
He's selling us out. Don't worry. I'm trying to understand because I think like so. I'm going to use myself as an example, right? I'm very mysterious, but I have to say this. So I used to like things arranged, but I think I've gone to a point where I just like empty spaces. I don't.
minimalistic.
Yes, I don't like being around things and clutter.
Clutter.
And my room is literally empty, and people don't know this. Like my clothes can fit in a suitcase. In 2021, I gave her like my stuff. I gave her my PS4, and yeah, I just like emptiness and empty spaces, being in empty rooms and dark spaces. What's wrong with me?
Oh, but
Why you look at me?
also you can say it as he's moved from whatever.
It's a behavioral change, isn't it? Yeah, it's
like
a behavioral change.
Sustainability.
Yeah, it's a behavioral change.
Like my room is literally empty.
Erapa did that. What's his name? Cyril? Seriously.
I don't know.
No, is it Kendrick?
What's going on
One
here?
of those
No,
rappers.
J. Cole gave out this stuff.
did that.
Yeah, but J. Cole's is philosophical.
It's based on philosophy. It's not behavioral.
Like J. Cole enjoyed summer.
It's what I'm saying.
Do you
Don't
remember
think
do you remember this
well?
guy's one?
No, but what you're saying,
remember,
everybody has that to like.
You get to a certain point in your
degree.
life.
See,
that
mine
you
is
wonder.
extreme.
The one who became the gospel musician for a period and came back, did the whole sermon in the garden.
Ghana?
No, the
Kanye.
West, that whole thing.
Yeah.
That was a period where he was
So
just
minimalism is me. I think minimalism has more to do with OCD
yeah.
and need for control.
Oh, but some
Because-
maximalists are also very much OCD.
Yeah,
You
and
don't
then
think
you have
so?
and you have
Yes,
have you heard of
there
hoarders?
are.
Let me explain to you why.
Yeah.
Have you heard of hoarders?
Let me explain to you
What is
why.
a hoarding? Have you seen it before?
Yeah.
they just have like stuff.
You see,
Not
hoarding
the
is
stuff,
not-
oh.
hoarding is
Unnecessary stuff.
hoarding
becomes
is
a
not-
health hazard to themselves.
I don't think hoarding is OCD because hoarding
It's a different
introduces so many other variables and you will lose control. That's why what is probably visually symptomatic of hoarding is that there is clutter and chaos.
Yeah.
Right, when you enter somebody's house, and they have the same throw pillow, 48 of them.
That's a problem.
The problem. But if the guy has 3 throw pillows and those 3 throw pillows only sit at 3 places, in that house. Throw pillows. If you enter somebody's living room and you be going to Jeffoli's house and that blue throw pillow has not left that green couch in 16 years, that's OCD. But if you go and every day Lenny has brought a new throw pillow, then you have to start talking to Lenny.
Bruh.
Intervention for camp. So I think OCD.
That's why it's a
minimalist is on this
spectrum.
side.
Yeah, so it's a
And
spectrum.
then
Maximalist.
hoarding.
Hoarding is on the extreme side.
On the street.
Why would you put maximalist then? Because
Maximalism is more normal.
It's more
You
no.
want a big house,
You
you want
can't
a
more
lot of
no. You
stuff.
want a sofa. You want
It's
a
like all living
TV.
rooms.
Yeah.
Why did we have the room divider? Put the glass inside. Put the lace before the glass. Put lace on the door.
On the TV.
And on the
The
TV,
TV.
on the seat back.
Yeah.
That was just how decor was, and it was a very maximalist time. But now
And we start
everything
taking-
is grey. Couches are not
Nude,
comfortable.
brown, white.
You know, couches are
What happened to
are no
couches?
longer couches
You
are no
don't even
longer
sleep in them
comfortable.
anymore.
It's more about how the couch looks like
More than how it feels like.
aesthetics,
I
right?
thought
Yeah.
doctors you sit
I
couch
get that.
inside, so yeah, couch. But them cry. Right now, they Charlie.
Your neck,
spine-
your neck,
you they look for how.
You know, a guy told me. He said the reason why his couch is like was you've been hurried to leave.
Oh, them.
Is there I know there are extreme cases of autism.
Right.
Are there any ways to manage, practices?
Yes, there are teams in place to manage what is diagnosed. Because as we said, it's a spectrum, so they might be very good in two or three things, right? But lacking in something. So he can be very smart, very focused, but lacking in able to communicate with somebody. So let's say the person is in IT or something, needs to develop a program, needs to explain to the investors that this is what I've developed, blah blah blah, and so on. He can't. He's afraid to do that because then you have to bring somebody in to encourage the person. You need to explain to what your idea is, right? And we have a lot of them in Ghana here falling through the cracks. Sorry, a lot, because you can meet
When you say falling through the cracks,
in the sense that they were not diagnosed. Nobody thought everybody thought they were.
Okay.
A mental issue
Or
and it's a spiritual or something.
sometimes, right?
Because we met one. I was talking to a senior colleague today, who is in that field of autism, dealing with these things, and she said she met an adult. The kid is about 20 something, and it was just rambling numbers ahead. 3, 2, 1 times this, then says that. And she's wondering if this kid was put in a mathematics program from at early age to put into physics, applied science, it could have been really, really mind blowing. But look at it, it's old. What do you do now?
Yeah.
Right? That's why when they are seen at an early age, they start giving them things that guide them. So you see that a kid who is good at IT, they put a kid behind a PC and starts coding.
So whenever I want
So
food, I
you
should
need
go
to
Jeff
detect
Foley.
it.
You need to detect early. That's why I said the mother.
Yeah,
You see
whenever
why
I
I said
want
for the beginning that is the mother. You see, I'm saying it's from the mother, it's from the father to identify it by looking at the developmental milestones.
Are they harmful to themselves in any way?
Most are not, but most also can't determine what is harmful. There's one aspect where on the spectrum where they don't understand what heat is. They can't tell what something's hot, so they can hold something really hot and be standing there, and it's burning. Perception of what it is They don't have that. So they don't understand why traffic, car is moving around and they can just cross.
That's serious.
So, Doc, that means we also, as a society and as a people, have to learn how to
Exactly.
help and deal
Exactly.
with
And also,
understand.
even some of us need to be open to idea. If somebody's telling you that I think this, and I think you need to see somebody about this, you need to be open-minded about it and go and see. If they go and it's not it, then you're happy.
Doc, I've heard stories of a lot of people who have, in fact, I'm throwing this back to the medical, to your community, where the diagnosis of autistic patients came late, where it wasn't identified early. Is it that it's difficult to determine that this is autism or the patient is autistic?
Yes, it's how do you call it? They have these parameters where if you fall within 2 out of the 3, then they start saying that you are probably that autistic, right? But as you said, this late diagnosis also comes from the parent. How many people bring their kids to hospital after we've done the whole antenatal program, prenatal program? When they do the immunization, you don't see the kid again. Some even don't give you details. Some don't even live with the children enough to tell you whether the child is doing well or is not.
Drivers and maids in business to raise your next offspring.
Sorry?
I said drivers and maids in business to raise your next offspring.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
Drivers and maids are in business raising the next offspring.
Because they made prepare the child for school. The driver drops it off at school.
Because the parents are really busy.
I was here at 6 o'clock. When am I going to go and see behavioral who and community?
Yeah. And that also means that the onus lies on
the teacher
Yeah.
to give you
be
feedback.
able
The teacher
to
is tired.
identify these
So
things.
most of students, 50 plus students, you're supposed to.
Yeah.
So if yours is extreme, that's when they talk about yours. They call your father to school. Your bano is disruptive in class, blah, blah, blah. Then you start, okay.
When you start stabbing people with pencil, then you say something's wrong with pencil.
Because I had somebody approach me and saying that the kid can't focus in class, right? And the first instance the parents wanted was medication. That there are medications to make you focus. But I told her it's too young for us to go there. Let's watch this. How about what is he interested in? Let's find what he's interested in and use that as an educational tool to teach the child. So the kid likes to play football, really good at it apparently, but likes to spend more time playing football than anything else. I said, oh no, it's not game. He said, no, it's not technology even. He just wants to go outside and play. So the mom, I told her that, how about you tell this, a deal. These children, as part of autism, we try to train them. They also train them with doing the whole reward system. You sit still, you do this, I'll give you that. You get it. You do that, I'll let you go and play. So the dad did that with the child, where he says, you do your homework, you do blah blah blah. The kids do amazing.
Yeah. Because he knows there's something at the end of it.
The reward is what is important to the kid. So this kid is going to be a very good footballer who can read at least his contract and understand it. Perhaps he could have easily been a very good footballer who knows nothing about his contract.
I'm imagining the number of geniuses we've missed out on.
That's why there are a lot of falling to the cracks. Even you can look at yourself in your classroom. I went to Autism International when we were in JSS. There was this kid who sat by me. I don't want to mention his name on air. He sat by me. And at that age, I don't know who taught him, but he was doing graffiti. We'll be in class and we are being taught. And he did a whole cartoon system. That magazine, the way they do the comics. He took a whole notebook and was doing comics. And the storyline was all in his head.
Wow.
And he was writing like 5, 10, 15.
Or draw.
Yes.
Yeah, teachers go vex then lash himself.
He was so good.
Yeah,
This graffiti that we do on the wall. This 3D drawings and things. The guy could do, and he could do he can write something like code, the word code, and you can look at it and feel like it's code. You can feel it. There's a feeling in what he has written that it looks really, really.
But
cool.
he wasn't taught this.
He wasn't taught. There was no school. Nobody taught this.
So,
but guess where he is now?
So
guess where he is? Where is he now? He's. How did you know?
Your ex-insurance company doesn't. You'll end up in insurance.
So, Doc,
So imagine he could be designing all this.
What he's not into insurance.
Yeah.
Doc, you said something very important.
You write your contract in 3D.
You said something very important, and this is the point where I want to take a few minutes of your time to preach something very important as well.
There we go, Reverend.
You see, ever since I started following all this astronomy and all these things, right? There's a lot of There's something that I've noticed that they all keep all these astronomers and all these people keep talking about how we can't survive out on other planets. It's too cold, it's too hot, it's too this. And it's all because we are looking at the story from our perspective.
The perspective of normal.
That we think normal
is what we have.
Is what we have. But not so, even within us amongst ourselves, the masses have defined the normal as the regular. Does have 2 hands, head, eyes. You can do this and do that. That is what is normal.
Right.
Basic.
But we've also defined the word normal as normal. Do you understand the sense I'm making?
Yes.
Where we think normal is okay. But maybe the abnormal
Is what's
is
normal.
what's normal.
is what is supposed to be normal. So maybe we all lack a certain deficiency. We all rather lack. Because autistic people are superhumans, if you ask me.
Super normal.
I say superhumans. They are super normal things. Well,
if you want to use the word normal, they are beyond the normal. So
and unfortunately, we see their actions as
Abnormal.
Slightly abnormal, because it is not okay for you to lack this and have that. But we rather see the fact that we are able to do everything, small of everything, as what normal is supposed to be. And we define, and again, in our education system, because what we want, with how we've decided how life is supposed to be. Somebody who has got an extra ability to do a skill set in something is rather seen as you lack something else.
So maybe we're abnormal.
So maybe we are abnormal. If you ask me.
In clinical psychology, there's nothing like
normal. They don't use the word
normal.
normal.
They use the word
I
normal.
mean, I'm not being a clinical psychologist.
No, but you're right.
I'm
You are
saying-
you are right.
I'm saying to your point.
You're actually saying what clinical psychologists say.
Yeah,
that there's not there.
that's
There's
it.
nothing
That's
like
a
that.
thought process.
Okay, I thought you meant that.
No. That's the thought
And-
process going on
yeah,
right
yeah.
now. That
So
When there's change,
yeah,
right? Change is literally going away from the norm.
yeah.
So the word normalcy is the same thing. So when something is changing, it means it's going away from the
Norm.
norm.
What is
Yeah.
So these people who
largely
you are
accepted.
describing, who are not in the norm, are, or maybe, the first conduits of change of what humanity.
Maybe the actual normal, what humanity should have
Yeah.
been.
right.
Right.
No, but the word normal is the nucleus of what society defines.
We define
That's
it.
what I said, that if I start in shots running right now from here to Osu, serial or not, catch 'em. If 50 people join me, it's a marathon. So the context within society makes something
Or
normal.
that society, that
Of any
particular.
instant makes it normal. Again, when you go to the beach and people are half naked, it's normal. If you went for a board meeting and everybody showed up in bikinis, it's
normal.
abnormal.
Yeah,
you understand?
Yeah.
So society is what defines what
Normal is and what is not normal.
It's the normal is not a constant. Normal is always within context. But the reason why we see these people as abnormal is because within the larger context of society, they are always on the fringe. So he's not going to play. So socialization is out. It's abnormal. He doesn't want to eat unless
But
all
it's
his
actually
chips.
not abnormal.
one
It's
line.
what society has
one line.
defined as.
Yes.
When you are
Yes.
growing, you are
Like,
supposed
what
to
is the-
be.
what is the purpose of eating? Nutrition. So if you want to mix your rice and your things and eat all at once, and I want to separate my rice, draw a line with my fish, and put my stew on the side. And when it enters our stomachs
Once
individually,
it's be digested.
It will process it.
Yeah.
It will process. But we are fighting the wrong things because people don't conform to their various settings.
So let's use your food system, right? What you just said. When I got the chance to study in China, right? You know they do the whole dish separate thing.
Yeah.
Like you have mushrooms here, you have this, that. It's
Put your
separate,
meal
everything,
together.
and the rice is just alone. So you sort of put your meal together as you are going along. We came from the part where the stew is on top, the fish is on top, everything is sort of. So one day we did that, and they saw it. They said, "Ours is abnormal."
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Yours is abnormal.
Because you're not used to that.
Exactly.
Mandingo is abnormal.
What's Mandingo?
What?
The alcohol.
Yes.
Wait, what?
The alcohol.
What's Mandingo?
It's the
What?
alcohol, right?
Yes,
Isn't that called-
let's just
yeah.
leave it there.
What?
It's not the
That's
alcohol.
my brother. Goodness. Where did Mandingo come from in this conversation?
Now you know why we're doing this topic. I think a topic.
See how innocent he looks. You see, this and for this and several reasons, I said you should add here and serious to the spectrum.
Now what did I do? He said Mandingo.
And you immediately
Every
understood.
nonsense to make sure you
You
answer.
immediately understood what he
I mean, you're
meant.
thinking for
You
3B.
immediately understood.
Someone just say, I'm on Jordan count.
You immediately understood
count.
what he meant.
Eh?
You immediately understood what he
I
meant.
understood what he meant.
Shouts going out to Razak, my friend,
Yeah,
who's
Razak.
watching it right now.
And I Yakubu de
First name Razak,
Yeah.
second name Mandingo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Middle name
They
Yakubu.
are normal actually. I just want to say that those are they are all normal.
But now we can't use the word normal.
We can't use it.
again.
Yeah.
After you submit
Is it-
No,
is
you
it-
can
like
use the
I'm
word
saying,
normal.
I think
Normal within
even in
context.
speech,
accepted.
even in speech,
No.
you can't say somebody's dumb now. You know, these people used to use those words, derogatory words. They call them derogatory words now. You can't say somebody is stupid. You can't say somebody is maybe because
Unless you actually
like
mean that.
Unless you're talking to your friend.
yes, but when you're talking about somebody is challenged, like you always say, like autistic people, some people call them that way.
Yeah,
Because maybe you're having a conversation with them and the person can't like they call the person dumb.
No, you can't. Okay.
You can't say things like that.
Yeah.
We are seeing it here. Outside they made police against, but here we haven't. And people are still saying those things. Even you can't say somebody's amputated. Well, we say disabled, right?
Disabled.
No, when we say disabled, we say physically challenged.
So you said differently abled. Or,
Differently able now. No,
You don't say disabled again?
No,
differently able.
they're differently
Oh,
able.
I never
knew
Uniquely abled.
Yeah.
He's able to do something.
Yes.
It's
But not
Capra,
what you are able to do.
So it's a matter of perspective. But
So when we use the word disabled, we look at it in relation to us.
yes,
It's like the 6 and 9 thing
Yes.
from where you are.
Yeah, from where you are, the view is different.
Yeah.
So there's 69.
6
Oh
and 9,
no,
6
no,
and
no,
9.
no.
Don't follow
Like, he's gone. No, he's gone. Yeah, he's good.
That's obvious.
On that
Going.
note,
It's 9:59 if you check the time right now. It's 9.
That's why it's coming up. You
so in
see?
10 minutes it'll be 9:69.
Yeah, 9:69. Yes, 9:69. 10 minutes time.
1 minute to
10 minutes
9:70.
will
No,
be
so
10:09.
the advocacy today is that hopefully next week I'm going to bring people who have undergone some of these things, who are living, I know people who are raising children, and I want to bring them here so they share what they have to live with. Because I'm also advocating that if you are a mother or you're going to be a mother and you are pregnant, please start reading to your child. Stop putting the screen and the phones by the child in the cot. Read to your child. Pick a book and read.
Thank you.
Because some lawyer that I know, amazing lawyer that I know, is part of the spectrum thing. They read to it during childhood, and because of that, it instilled that spirit of reading in the person,
Dr. Chris.
which led to the
You cannot pass
I like
on
that.
habits that you yourself have not
don't
instilled.
have. Yeah.
But you can also
Okay.
start
If the
changing.
mother, if the mother and the father are not readers or bibliophiles or they don't like it,
No, but you don't have to be a
No, 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 no.
bibliophile
You
because
see-
I don't think anyone was born
You
an
see-
audiophile,
Well,
right?
yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
no
Or
one
a
was born
TikTok file.
like
So let me-
Thank
a TikTok
you.
file.
An
Like,
addict
I'll
to
add it to the
to be
TikTok file.
able to-
All right, our time is up. But Cyril, wrap it up.
no, it's
You're
okay, it's
saying-
fine, it's fine, it's fine.
Oh no, you were saying
No,
something.
yeah,
I'm
say
just-
something.
No, I'm just saying that the habit, especially before when it comes to child raising or parenting, you need to make sure that you yourself have attained those disciplines as an individual. Then it no longer becomes a chore
Yeah.
when you have to pass it on to your offspring.
Yeah.
But if you are somebody who is ignorant of these things, and then you don't do these in your life, and then you are watching us and they say, oh, make sure you read to your infant child. The mother of that child has not read a book in 10 years.
Charlie.
The father doesn't read book.
But they should.
Where are
That's
they
not
going
how
to start
we
reading
start,
to the child? You get what I'm saying? So we cannot impact something we don't have. You can't pour an empty container into another empty container. Your cup needs to be full of something of substance so
so
that you
the
can
advice
pour
you
it
have to
into
make a conscious effort.
Yeah, so what it should be.
You have to be better.
Start reading.
Subpar people cannot create better people.
Yeah.
That's why they say iron sharpens iron.
True. I would consider all this into
Under
my,
your political-
this
Your
thing.
political is one.
Yeah, because
Manifesto.
it's time, and I'm glad about this because it's a time that we actually be deliberate on harnessing,
child.
harnessing
Yeah,
the
talent, yeah.
the talent
Potentials.
within those
Our
who are
superheroes.
yes, our superheroes. You know, and I can imagine. Some of the people that we're going to find with amazing things they can do. Only God knows what we can discover out of that space. And if we change the normal rather to be abnormal and the abnormal to be normal, we just might discover something that might be the changer of our future. And on that note, we're back here same time. Thank you so much, Doc. And to Jason. Jason,
6 and 9.
6 and 9. Yeah, I did that to you.
Charlie.
Let me-
Buy some furniture.
That's your name.
I can grab a shot of Mandingo for you if you don't mind as well.
Wow,
Just
my
a-
goodness.
You can grab it and drink it yourself.
Lomote.
On my
What?
behalf.
Don't
You know how like that sounds, Michelle?
On that note, our time
On
is
my
up. We're
behalf,
back here
can
same
drink it.
time tomorrow on Culture Daily. And thank you so much to you, our viewers, as well, for keeping your screens here. And talking screens, you remember we said that if you have kids as well, limit the screen time. It's very important. And build a certain relationship, you know, communicate with your kids as well. Name is Jay Foley, President to be, and we are.
Culture Daily was brought to you by Telecel.